Because right now it's going to be the minion route. That made it worse. No. Hi guys, Yacca here. So I'm doing a little bit of a follow-up on the Enhancement or Aggro Shaman as it is called right now. I did a deck revision, replacing one from the previous video, replacing one of my Cumulus with an Earthshock, because there seemed to be a lot more taunts than I needed to go through, and that is simply just a very good way of doing exactly that. So that's kind of the only deck revision that I did, and I played a bunch of more games. Like I have like since last, or since in this season, which is also since last, I have played like 70-80 games that I tracked with the Enhancement Aggro Shaman. And I got a lot more of a feel for it. Where I'm situated in Legend, I'm at a solid 50% win rate. It's not too crazy, and the reason for it not even performing better is that I still experience a bunch of weapon hate. I think actually stepping all the way back from the Evolved Shaman days, it seems like it's becoming a little bit less. It also seems like I'm winning it just a little bit more now. And there's also the rise of Zoo Warlock, which is not really the best matchup for this. Some of the very strong decks right now is that you have your Paladin towards getting into Legend. In Legend, it's actually not that bad with the Paladin. There's not that many. But getting to Legend, there's a bunch of Paladin, which is kind of a 50-50, a little bit less than a 50-50 matchup. You have a lot of Zoo Warlock, and you have your Rogue. So these three classes, you kind of really, that's where you need to practice the matchup, and you can win, of course you can, but also against Warrior. Warrior is not the best one, except against Bomb Warrior. There you're really favored. But you're doing really well against other classes as well. You have good matchup against all other shamans, against mage and druid and priest in particular. It's a real priest killer, this one specifically. Talking a little bit about the cards in the mulligan, from what I have right now, the more experience that I have with the deck, is some of the general good keeps that you want to have is like your Lightning Bloom. I'm not going to say Earthshock, that's a more situational card. So is Lightning Bolt, actually. You would much rather want to draw that later on. But Sludge Slurper, Surging Tempest, of course Cage Match Custodian, and many are actually tricked or baited or overkeeping Diligent Note Taker. That's more of a late game card. I think I mentioned that in the previous one as well. So if you are on turn 5, 6, 7, ideally turn 6. So if you drop the Diligent Note Taker, you drop a Rock Biter weapon, and then you can play it again. That's 18 points of damage from a couple of swings from the Doomhammer. So it's not an early game card. You will see from one of the gameplay videos that it's actually something where I go against this in one of the matches, but that's really where I need some early initiative, some early pressure. A little bit of a mention around Instructor Fireheart. Instructor Fireheart is not kept in most situations, and that's usually true. But against Warlock and also against Priest, for whatever reason, the win rate of the keeping Instructor Fireheart in the mulligan actually spikes the win rate a lot. So against those two classes specifically, it seems like Instructor Fireheart is definitely a good keep. So bear that in mind against Warlock and against Priest. This is a really, really fine card to have and keep in the mulligan. Also against the slower matchups, of course you much rather want the Cage Match Custodian to tutor out the Doomhammer instead of having that in the draw. But if you're against some slow decks, you can also use Doomhammer. And Inara Stormcrash is actually even a better keep than Doomhammer. Getting her out is really powerful. Also against like the Warrior is really good against Priest is really good. Also, the stat line for Priest, the 4 attack, it's still a little bit awkward for Priest to actually deal with. So definitely very good to keep her in those specific matchups. Yeah, there's a little bit around the mulligan. And I mentioned the strong suits for the shaman. And it's just really, it's a really fun archetype to play. The games are fast, and usually you have a list above 50% win rate, and the weapon, so to speak, the weapon hate in the meta is actually coming down a bit, and that is really good for this deck to shine. You are somewhat unfavored against more or less all other aggro decks because you're a little bit slower, and the way that you are aggressive is by using your face. So if you want to control the board just a little bit and trying to use your small board presence to pressure like another aggressive deck, then you need to use your face, and that is something that is not too great in the aggro matchups. You can win, definitely, and you have the opportunity to do so. It's just you really have to count the damage that your opponent has available, and when do you trade, when do you go face, all this kind of stuff. So you're slightly unfavored against other aggressive decks, but against other decks where you need to have consistent damage output, then you do not fizzle out, so to speak, as the other aggressive decks they do. And against those, for instance against the priest and stuff like that, you're much more favored than the other aggressive decks. So bear that in mind. Against other aggressive decks, you're a little bit slow when you read into that specific matchup, but you have consistent high amounts of damage over the course of the entire game. I think that's enough said. So you guys have been awesome. Thanks for being patient with this video that you're seeing right now, and I'll pan out into other videos as well, so stay tuned for that, and let's head on into the gameplay. Custodian, that's nice. Lightning Bloom, that's also nice. Do I throw this one back then? Got this 2, this and 3. On 4 I can't do anything. I think I want to draw for my weapon buffs, rock biter weapons, stuff like that. I'll drop the Custodian on the next turn. And then I will Lightning Bloom the Doomhammer. We're still a couple of turns away from him being able to Am I hitting in here? I'm a couple of turns away from him being able to like doing the sticky fingers, the couple sticky fingers. But if he's a Highlander list, then he could like get Zephyrus into news, but he did a full mulligan. I think I'll wait.
This will break your
I guess I will be going in now. And then on the next turn I can Serpent Shrine, maybe a hero power and then Serpent Shrine. So what you got? Oh, that one.
Your flaws are your strength.
guess I can manage it. I can just go Serpent Shrine, Lightning Bolt, then go face. See what we get here. That's fine. Lightning Bolt. And now I do have the other one lined up, so I'll just wail in the damage. I'm not too concerned about those two because he needs to put in a little bit extra for him to kill off the 3/4. And if he drops like a big taunt or stuff like that, then I can torrent. Whatever he drops, it could also be the pirate, the sword eater. Still, torrent seems like it's fine then. There we go. Then I'll torrent and cage match, and then I'll give face. Depends whether I draw like Storm Strike or Rock Biter, then I'll probably use that instead. I draw the Doomhammer. Okay. Fair enough. Then I will invest in some damage, right? I'll be overloaded for 2. Then I can still drop that one. The chances for him to get like the Armor Smith, he used up that one already. He's probably looking for the risky skipper at least.
Someone's gotta lead the charge.
That could generate a sticky fingers, so maybe I need to be a little bit careful. I think I will not develop anything really. Maybe I need to do this just not to make that discounted. I think I need to do that. Because then I can Doomhammer Torrent. Because he might be drawing into his other sword eater. Looking for armor smiths, no doubt. Doesn't armor, then lightning bolt could be lethal or will be lethal. Right, oh, I can't be because I need to punch through somehow.
Armor made to fit.
Uh-oh. Still, that's not too bad. Just do this and then develop the weapon. I might have surprise lethal with Inara together with like a weapon buff. Go to 9, then Rock Biter will be 10 points of damage with Inara. Other than that, I could like draw Storm Strike, Donk Tank. This is also quite the difficult match up because there's so much armor gain possible for the warrior. 10, 12. Okay, so it's not enough just getting the Rockbiter, but Rockbiter in Nara will be enough. This might get me there. I'll try.
Never be afraid of your inner power.
Guess I'll just use the cheap one here. I guess this one. Storm Strike. That'll get me close. I'll get rid of that one. And this one should be lethal on the next turn.
Elements guide me. Elements guide me. Job done. My hand is full.
Hopefully, that'll be enough. Just as long as he doesn't have the other armor smith and the risky skipper.
Drink your blood. Eat your flesh.
Yeah, that should be it. It's just lethal represented out there already. Uh-oh. Oh. Would have been better for him not to kill that one off. Funny enough. But who would have known? There we go. Great. We managed even against the tougher matchups. Cage match Custodian. Great. Against the Rogue.
Watch.
A bit tough as well.
For Doomhammer.
I think this is actually going to be good enough. I want a little bit of initiative early on. Okay, I draw into my Doomhammer. There's enough damage now to finish him off. Now I just need to control the board somehow. Ooh, it's the aggressive rogue. Diligent note taker. Is it worth just dropping like the note taker in order to make him make the trade?
I wonder.
I think that might be the case actually.
Repeat that.
Because that's going to be a priority target for him. He doesn't know that I have both Doomhammers available. That might mess up his... Wow. I did not expect that kind of restraint, honestly speaking. Do I double lightning bolt him? I think no. Let's just do this. Just want to be on the board right now. That spell burst is negligible because I do have both Doomhammers.
A cruel fate awaits you in the ashes.
And then he'll do the trade. But then I can Serpent Shrine. Likely he'll do the trade. He'll trade there. Okay, that surprises me. Because now I get an extra Serpent Shrine portal. And I can value trade here. And go face. And then I can Serpent Shrine again.
Care to make a wager, friend?
Yeah, he just wants to go face now, but now I have a bunch of stuff. Let's do this. See what we get. That's pretty good. Do have my fair share of spells that I need to get through. Okay, sap. That's good tempo gain on his part. Secret passage with only 2 mana left. Ah. Maybe getting the goody 2 shields down is actually not that bad. Depends on what he does. Could be goody 2 shields lightning bolt, because then I can still drop the doom hammer. Is it race time? Can I go faster than him? And I'll do this first, of course. Might be race time. And 9. Then lava burst is lethal. Unless he does some kind of trade. And I could even... That's really not the position you want to be in. Is that still lethal? 6, 11. No. If I draw anything. So I can clear, and then he needs to do 11 from, I guess, exactly nothing.
I wonder. Could you repeat that?
Nothing gets through.
Then that should be enough, right?
Guide me.
Next turn I can deal up to 5, 8, 10, 14. And he needs to do 11 now. With only 2. That's not possible. I got him. We're there, boys.
Don't distract me.
And there we are. Woo. That was tough. Him not dealing with the early diligent note takers might have cost him the game. I'm not sure. Right. Outburst don't tank. Bomber. Maybe it's a bomb warrior. I want to go for the custodians, the cage match custodians, and alternatively maybe Doom Hammer Warrior is a tough matchup. Yay, golden cards. Well, I don't have any prepared turn 2, so I'll just drop this to get a little bit of early damage in. And if nothing else, then I can just develop that on the next turn. Because right now it's going to be the minion route. That made it worse. No!
This will break you.
Okay. Let's do this. Oh, that's nice. Sheen Prime. Shifen? He's like a 10 drop, right? Something like that. Oh. I think you can actually see it here. Right. Yes, no. Yeah, there we go. 10 drop. Choose one summon and 9/9. Taunt. Or rush. Okay, let's do this and that. We'll use the 1 drop, just in case that we get another development somehow. Then I can Doomhammer on the next turn, and then we start Wailing Face. Oh, Bomb Warrior. That actually gives me a chance. Because he doesn't run the Armor Smiths usually. How worthless is that? It's just gonna be sitting there. Oh man. Okay. 16, 18. I need to find a little bit more damage along the way. But I need to start hitting in. And then we could like... Next turn is probably gonna be Lava Burst, really. If I draw Cumulo, I could coin that. I can coin most. What, Joe? Stop hitting my face. Diligent Note Taker. I think that's actually worth getting an additional Lava Burst. There we go. There we go, face. Then I do have lethal set up with Lava Burst, 2 hits, that's 9, and then another 3, that's 12. So even if he just armors up, I still have a lethal from what he can see. And if he drops a taunt, then I have Torrent or Earthshock. So this might actually just be it.
What now?
Anyway, even with a very poor evolve on my 1-drop to a 2-drop. And he's still hanging around the bracket. I must have slain 1,000 or so.
What now?
The only thing he doesn't know is that I actually do have a way of answering a taunt. He knows I have the Lava Burst, he can see the minions on the board, and he can see my weapon. Everything is visible. Okay. Does give him a chance, but now... Well, if I do get a spell damage totem with there, right? Or 9. Donk Tank. That's just lethal, right? With the Lightning Bloom. And there we go. Boop. We got it anyway. Yeah, so definitely the enhancement, the Aggro Shaman, it still works. There are decks which of course do a lot better, and if there's a little bit less weapon hate and a little bit less Zulok and Rogue in the meta, then the Aggro Shaman will definitely be working just fine.